Hey, friends, welcome back to yet another exciting episode of Show Me the Collectibles. I'm your host, Crander Q, aka my real name. Now, you may recognize me, you may not. I'm not that big of a celebrity yet, but I also have a wrestling podcast where we talk to fans about being fans of pro wrestling. That one's called Friends of the Squared Circle. But before we talk with our guest today, Tristan, we're going to give a huge sponsor shout out to our boys over at the Wrestling of the 313. If you're like me, you want to be down with a 313, give Wrestling from the 313 a follow, as well as Inside Out Nutrition, a wellness coach, and healthy lifestyle. Now, Bobby Joe is slinging healthy donuts over there and healthy teas. Check her out on Facebook.com/Inside Nutrition. And Tristan, how you doing today? That kind of rhymes with nutrition. I know that's a horrible segue. So
It's all good. I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
I am doing great. I know we talked off camera a little bit, but I'm so excited you are here. I love Scooby-Doo as a kid. I kind of grew out of it, but I'm excited to show off your collection today.
I mean, clearly I didn't, right?
Right?
Yeah. I huge fan as a kid. I think even a bit bigger now, a bigger fan now, but
Yeah, I'm totally jealous now. Like, I got to go back and watch the movies. I had just, I think it's Tubi TV that has the one from the 70s. That's the one I
Yeah.
used to watch on the Cartoon Network on like Direct TV, when you could like save a channel and then it would notify you when your channel was on or cartoon was on. I love those old cartoons, the Hanna-Barbera or now I'm stumbling over my words because now I'm getting excited,
it's all
but
good.
that was like my favorite cartoon, era before the Looney Tunes and the Disney.
Yeah. Yeah, see, like, my introduction was a little bit later. I actually didn't watch the original Scooby-Doo series until much later in life. I bought the DVD box set.
Oh,
But,
okay.
like, as a kid, like, this was the thing that got me into
hmm
Scooby-Doo. This is the live action 2002 movie. Um, this is like my childhood VHS tape, and I used to take this thing camping and just like play
Oh,
it on
nice.
loop all the time as a kid. And then in 2004, I also got the sequel on DVD. My dad actually gave this to me when I got my tonsils out when I was 8 years old.
Oh, nice.
So
Nice.
the week that I was off, I was eating like soft cheese sandwiches and watching this just on repeat. So that's where my collection started pretty much. It's just the live actions and just went up from there.
It's great that you know what VHS is. I kind of still feel like it's dying, but I still buy them. I
That's
have
the
a
thing,
lot of
like,
Jurassic Park VHS tapes back there. So what's that?
yeah, this is some of my content. I have like a little VHS TV built in. So I do like little clips of nostalgia and just pop in like an old Scooby commercial and play for my TikTok.
That is so cool. That is so cool. And we'll have you plug that TikTok because we want to send people your way. I know we're small right
Yes.
now, but I'm always one to show off my friends. I know you're new to my page because I just recently found you. But on like Wednesdays, like today, we're always highlighting in the wrestling world the people that follow me and have been on my show. But now we're starting to do that on the collectibles as well. So like we'll start sharing your TikTok page. We'll have like the graphics and stuff up with some Scooby,
Thank
stuff
you.
just to kind of show you off. So
Yes, thank you. I am at Tristan Sakery everywhere. Just everywhere.
perfect, perfect. What got you kind of into collecting? Was it just random or was it an obsession? What was it for you?
Honestly, I was a big fan as a kid, and I had a couple of DVDs, like the live
Yep.
actions. Um, and so like when we used to get those classic book orders, I used to order Scooby books and stuff like that. And at one point, I had a lot of stuffed animals, but I was getting older, and I was like, "Mom, I have to make my bed every day before I go to school. Can I like put these somewhere for safekeeping?" And we put them in a bag, and they got lost. And she swears to this day that she didn't get rid of them.
Okay.
She's like, I would never throw away your Scoobies. So like all of my plushies aren't from my childhood.
Okay.
There's like a couple that I did find that I wanted to like repurchase. Um, but other than that, there's just most of my Scooby plushies and like stuff from when I was a kid are gone, unfortunately. So all this is just as an adult recollecting.
And it's great that like I always like to say that I have adult money that I can go out and get these things because some of the stuff that I had bought, like the Jurassic Park stuff, was like I wasn't able to have this as a kid, and now I can have it. A lot of it is reproduction stuff, but it's
Yeah.
like I have it now. Same with my Ninja Turtles. I had some original ones from the '80s, which was cool, but then Playmates came out with those ones at Walmart now, so I was like, well, I just need those, and they're not worth anything, so I can open those and pose those with my VHS tapes. and
Yeah.
DVDs, like I showed you off camera, that one that I had
Yeah.
with a different case color. That way it looks fancy and set up different. So
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, it is adult money, and unfortunately, we found ourselves in a place where, like, the economy kinda sucks right now. So,
mhm,
we're not buying houses, we're not really having kids, so you might as well spend on what you want,
right,
in the moment. I always call this an investment, like, it's somewhere, the money's somewhere, I can see it, I can feel it.
hmm
If, God forbid, I ever have to sell it, it's gonna retain most of its value,
yeah.
which is something that I'm sort of comfortable with. Like I unfortunately I spend a lot on Scooby, but in the long run, it's not going to go anywhere. Like it's for me, and that's all that matters.
Then hopefully they don't cancel Scooby. I don't see him ever going away. I wouldn't say he's on, the mouse status, but he is iconic. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and that's the
Everybody,
thing.
you show a picture of Scooby, they know who Scooby is. They might
Yeah,
not know the rest of the cast, unless you're those weird people in Velma.
and
But
that
Scooby's going to live on forever.
yeah, and that's what I was gonna say is like I don't have HBO, so like people keep asking me like, "Have you seen Velma yet?" And I'm like, "No, like I haven't seen it. I haven't bothered to like
Mm,
find it online." But as far as I'm concerned, as long as something is keeping Scooby-Doo in the zeitgeist, I don't care how
yep.
bad it is. Like, they made a couple of live action remakes for, like, Nickelodeon when I was in, like, middle high school, and they're awful. They're so bad, but, what it did is kept Scooby-Doo
Mhm.
in another generation, and every time they release a Scoob or a Velma, unfortunately, they canceled the new Scoob movie that's all, like, it was 99% done, but as long as they keep putting it out there, it is
Mhm.
gonna get, like, enough to keep collectors like me happy because they're always going to celebrate. Now they're celebrating the WB 100, which is like Looney Tunes, Scooby Doo, all that
Mhm.
stuff. So that's like a whole new wave of merchandise. And if it weren't for Velma, I don't know if we would have gotten a new Scooby this year, but
Right.
we did, right?
And I know the guy that has done the voice over the last few years. Is it Matthew Lillard? Is that the correct guy?
Yeah. So Matthew
Okay.
Lillard, he played
Yep.
Shaggy in the 2002 and 2004 live actions.
Yep. And I always see like when he does Comic Cons, people go up and request two things: the Scooby voice, and then scream that, "Oh, my mom's gonna kill me!" You know what I mean? So,
My mom's gonna be so mad
oh,
at
that's what it
me.
is. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big
Yes.
horror fan, but I'm
Yeah.
very squeamish and scared. I get scared easy. I'm definitely afraid of ET. It's out on the internet now, so don't
Yeah.
show me any ET today.
They usually say that like horror and Scooby-Doo fans are kind of almost adjacent. And like
Gotcha.
Matthew Lillard is just like full circle. Like Scream's my favorite horror movie, period. Just Scream is number one. So if I could just do like a Scream and live action back to back and just see Matthew Lillard just like flexing
Mhm.
his camp, like his timing's fantastic. So I love the guy. I'd love to meet him one day and have him sign everything.
Have you ever thought about going to a con or?
I I started collecting and it was sort of like a
Mhm.
pass, like it was sort of on the back burner. It was just like whenever I happened to be at a thrift store or like happened to find something at a decent price. Now I prioritize it. That's what a lot of my content is Scooby
Mhm.
hunting. But it got to that point sort of during the pandemic, so there really wasn't the option to like go to
Oh,
a
makes sense.
con.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know, like looking next year, like my little brother, he's 10 years younger than me, so he's 17 right now. He's been to a few Comic Cons. I know he went to like one in Toronto. I think he went to like Anime North. I would love to go because I know like the Funko scene is huge
Mhm.
there. And like as a Funko collector, I'd love to try to find some of the ones I'm missing.
Right.
But yeah, I haven't yet, but I would love to go.
That would probably be awesome for you. I haven't met him, but like I go into like the wrestling stuff more. But I was like
Yeah.
a huge Smallville fan back in the day. I mean, I love Superman. But like getting to meet the cast and crew was so cool, especially Michael Rosenbaum. Dude's just goofy. I mean,
Right.
sometimes they say it sucks meeting your heroes, but you know, it's also very rewarding.
Yeah.
Because the whole time he was with the guy that played, Superman, Clark Kent, and Clark's line is like a million miles long, of course, because he's the superhero, the lead actor of the show. And then Michael's got like a fourth of it, and he's running back and forth, taking his Sharpie, sticking it in his coffee, grabbing his hand sanitizer and
Yeah.
rearranging Tom's photos. And then the lady's like, "I'm so sorry, I didn't have enough money to meet you." And he's like, "Get over here." And he throws her in the middle of both of them. He's like, "Take the picture, damn it." And then he sends her on her way. So it's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
and
So,
it's great when people that understand they have the platform, don't
Yep.
abuse it.
Yep.
Like, for someone to say like, "Hey, I really couldn't afford to meet you today, but I would love to," and for
Mhm.
him to understand and just like get it and
Yep.
just like go for it, it's a picture. Who cares,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's like he controls his destiny. You know what I mean? Like you said, he doesn't just say, "Well, sorry, you didn't have $50, kid." It's more like, "All right, well, I'm going to create a memory that will last for a lifetime and make
yeah,
me feel good, make them feel good, and a little free press." You know what I mean? So,
right.
but back to
Yeah,
Scooby Doo and your collectibles. I don't want to keep
yes.
handing it off here on my side of this. You're the
No
starter, so.
worries. Yeah, but like on the con side, like I would love to go because I know
Mhm.
like Gray Delisle, she's voiced Daphne like as long as I've been alive. There's Frank Welker, like he voiced Fred, Scooby. Just like yeah, I would love to go to a con. I would bring all my Funko sleeves, bring them.
Mhm.
Actually, that's what another thing I wanted to show is of the Funkos. Sorry, of the
You're, you're
Funkos.
you're fine.
Yeah, this is the one that I think I'm most proud of. I actually just got this one, and it is the Scooby-Doo Creeper. This has been like number one priority for me for
Okay.
years. It was a 2017 Emerald City, so that's Seattle Comic Con exclusive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was just this is like a holy grail for me, and I just got it, so it's really great. But yeah, I'd love to get the whole cast to sign these things for me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, hopefully one day you do. I know I met one of the artists for like those cartoons back in the day, and I think he mostly did like Captain Caveman. I think he did Wacky Races and some other ones. That was
Yeah,
where like I loved Wacky Races because I just thought it was so unique because all the characters were racing, and I take that from my childhood because my dad was really into racing.
yeah,
Um, and then just a sidebar, I didn't really here I go again, rabbit hole. But like my dad and I, like and my family, I didn't look like anyone in my family. I'm the pudgier one. I've got the glasses, and now it's so funny. My sister, my brother, my dad, everybody's getting glasses, and now it's like, wow, we all look horribly alike. And I was just kind of wondering where this collection and this itch to collect, when my dad's walls are filled with Bill Elliott, the McDonald's sponsored race car. Like it's
yeah,
insane. Like I'd love to get him on here, but he hates being center of attention. But maybe I'll
yeah.
just go in there and show off his collection one day because it is ridiculous. So,
Yeah, and that is another reason why I do collect. Unfortunately, like my dad passed away in 2017,
oh, sorry to hear
and
that.
thank you. That's it was rough, but
Hmm.
leaning on Scooby was actually a lot of what brought me to collecting as an adult.
Gotcha.
Um, when I was a kid, like when I got my tonsils out, he showed up at my mom's place with the Scooby-Doo 2 on DVD and like
Hmm.
brought me a pair of Scooby-Doo pajamas. Um, and most of my memories with him are like us going to Wonderland. I did want to show you that's another thing that I do like to collect is vintage Wonderland stuff with Scooby on it.
Okay.
We lived just like half an hour drive around from Wonderland, and so like on summers used to go. That's actually one of the Scoobies that I wanted to replace. Is that one that he won me at like one of the Wonderland games.
Nice.
So yeah, so like in 2017, um, my friend knew this, and so he ended up buying me like the original 5 set of Funko Pops, and I was like, I didn't know these things existed. Like I had never heard of a
Hmm.
Funko. I had like seen them in GameStops and stuff like that, but um, from there I was like, oh, like I'm gonna put them on the shelf, and I'll like collect my DVDs and like my old Scholastic books, and just take the little Scooby stuff that I have and just sort of put it on display. And like doing that, and then every time I would see it, I'd be like, it reminds me of like the good times with my dad,
Hmm.
and like how every Friday he used to take me to Blockbuster, and he would get a movie for the weekend, then he'd be like, go pick out a Scooby. And so
Nice.
like all the like 90s classics like Zombie Island, Witches Go, Cyber
Mhm.
Chase, I watched those for the first time with my dad, and it was just um it was a way to like connect what I was missing with what I
Hmm.
can do now to sort of remember him, and that's honestly why I collect. This is what I tell people is why I collect, is just because it makes me happy and it reminds me of my dad.
That's awesome.
And yeah, so a lot of the like a lot of the stuff is Hot Topic, Spencer's and stuff like
Hmm.
that. But what really I like to collect is things that you can't go into a mall and find. So like this is one of my favorites. It's a 1980 Wonderland
Nice.
mug with Scrappy Doo on it. And we actually just found these on Kijiji. These are
Oh,
some
very nice.
giant Wonderland pins. So we got Scrappy and Scooby. And so this was my favorite. My partner gifted me to these, and I started crying when he opened them. This
That's
little
awesome.
Scooby and Scrappy. But yeah, like it means a lot to me. I think a bit more than like the surface level. Like people watch my TikToks, so like, oh, like it's fun. You collect Scooby. I'm like, yeah, but there's a reason. I mean, I'm sure
Yep.
there's a reason for the reason everybody fills their home with things that they love, right?
Yeah, and you're not alone. Like kind of we chatted off camera. I had Vanessa on, who's a Casper collector as well as Shrek Army. And she related to Casper because she felt like a ghost. So it's
Hmm.
it collecting has more than just, hey, I want to show off my stuff. You have an
Yeah,
amazing story that you're sharing about your dad. I'm lucky to have you share that with me. I'm so humbled that I'm getting all these cool stories. Like Fuzzy, he mentioned that Donatello was the reason he wanted to be better at school, and he's a teacher, an art teacher now. And Toys on My Table, X-Men was the reason that he learned to read because he was excited about Wolverine, and he collects, the X-Men stuff still to this day, because it has that powerful meaning behind it. So,
yeah, absolutely. And another thing that I think makes this special for me is like when I met my partner during the pandemic on
mhm.
Tinder, and I had one of my first profile pictures with me in a Scooby-Doo mask. And he messaged me and he was like, it's funny that you're wearing a mask like Scooby unmasks the villains.
Oh,
And
nice. High five to him on that
right?
line.
Yeah. So I was like, "Oh, like you like Scooby-Doo?" He goes, "Yeah, like the live action is his favorite movie, like period. Like
Hmm.
it's my favorite Scooby movie, but like I have other tastes besides it."
Nice.
But he was like, "Yeah, like Scooby-Doo is my favorite, and it's the reason that he became an animator." And I
Oh,
like
nice.
he's now working in the industry. And when we first met, he was actually working on Space Jam Final Legacy for Warner Brothers.
Oh, that's so cool.
So that was just like the second we met, it was just like magic. And so like all of my TikToks are us going to like thrift stores, antiquing. He got me into antiquing. Like I had never been to an antique store before we met. And
That's
now
so
that
cool.
that's our thing is like we spend our days off just out together hunting and
Hmm.
um we're always scouring Kijiji, and it's definitely a team effort. And we love looking for stuff together. We love investing in our collection together. This is
Hmm.
as much his as it is mine. Um, like we split this guy because he was a pretty penny. but
That's so
but
cool.
yeah, like it's it's great that I've been able to find someone that
Hmm.
loves it as much as I do,
Yep.
sometimes a bit more.
Yep.
If he wasn't so camera shy, he'd be on like a bit more involved in the TikToks, but he's on there. He's
Hmm.
silent sometimes. Yeah.
And yeah, I
Um,
mean, that's so cool because I'm sure if he's out and about by himself, that he's just like, "Oh, Scooby," and he's all excited to come home and
constantly.
show you. I know my wife, like with Jurassic Park, she bought me a Giantsaurus Funko Pop, like one of the really big ones. And she's the one that's
Yeah.
always telling me I don't need to collect them all, but she bought that for me. So that one's going to be my prize Jurassic Park, or Jurassic World, I should say, Funko Pop. But then for Christmas, she got me the last of the scene ones from the original one. And it was the first time in a long time that like I felt like someone truly understood
Yeah.
me. It was like a moment, our second Christmas together. And I was just blown away that she remembered or took the time to buy that for me. So that like I'm so attached to that moment in our relationship. She's
Yeah.
gonna watch this and make fun of me, but it was very
it
emotional that day for me because it was just like, I haven't had that in my life. I've had relationships,
yeah.
I've had a lot of great friends, but now it's like I finally have that person I'm supposed to be with, like you, and it's so great. Like shout out
Yeah.
to my wife, shout out to your partner. I mean, it's
Yes.
so cool. It's so cool.
And there's a reason they call it your other half, right?
Hmm.
Because you're sharing your life together, and very similarly, like any birthday, any
Hmm.
Christmas, he will have spent the whole year
Yep.
just collecting, whether thrift finds, antique finds, any store, and I'll just get this box, and like I wish I had brought it. Like One of our first Christmases together, he got me this beautiful emerald green suit tie with all these vintage Scoobies on it, and it is like one of my prized possessions.
Mhm.
But it's so great to have someone that doesn't laugh at it, you know,
Yep.
like
Yep.
honestly,
Well, she
yeah,
laughed at me, but that's a whole nother ball game because I'm an adult man playing with action figures. But
yeah,
I'm not too crazy with the action figures. I just have like 7 or 8 of my favorite people. But yeah, it
yeah,
it truly is. It's always going to hold that value more than anything else. So
yeah. Like on our first date, I have it hanging on my Scooby tree because I kind of wanted to include this in my
mhm.
special sort of collection piece because who else has a Scooby tree, right?
Right.
On our first date, after we've been talking for a while, he ended up giving me it was the Scooby-Doo keychain that they gave to the crew members on the
Oh
set
wow.
of the
Okay.
live action. So he found this at thrift store years ago, and when he first gave it to me, it was in perfect condition, but he really wanted me to put it on my keys, so it's a little worse for wear.
Hmm.
But he wrote like a cute little special message on the back.
That's awesome.
And he is an artist, so when I showed him the Scooby tree, he made this for us for Christmas,
That's so cool.
and it's a hand painted, hand sculpted mystery machine. It was
Awesome.
Christmas 2021, and sorry,
Don't apologize. I'm enjoying
there we
everything you're
go.
showing. So take your
Doing it
time.
live.
Yeah.
He also,
So
again,
cool.
hand sculpted and hand painted this, and this was for my birthday 2020. So this was the first one. There's a little message on the back.
Nice.
But yeah, he's very artsy. Like I said, he's an animator. And this is a little bit of a spoiler, but years ago when we first started dating, we were talking
Hmm.
about starting a podcast called the Scooby-Dudes.
Oh, okay.
And at some point, at some point, we were going to go through the whole Scooby canon and sort of every week just like do a review podcast on all
That'd
the
be
Scooby
fun.
stuff. So he handmade. It's actually like cutout paper. This
Nice.
it was a Starbucks cup, but you could put the sleeve in it.
Hmm.
And so I love this, and I have it with my collection on the shelf. But it's just a Scooby Dude,
That's
and
awesome.
it's again, it's things like this that I see it, I smile, and
Hmm.
that's the reason for collecting, right?
Exactly. Exactly. I hope you really get into doing that podcast because that'd be kind of fun. I'm sure there's a whole lore out there for it. Like I said, I mentioned Vanessa. This is probably the only question that'll be hard hitting, like I said off camera. Um,
Yeah.
do you see yourself? So Vanessa has the record for Casper. Is that something that you have thought about doing yourself on the Scooby end? I know I've asked another collector with her Funko Pops, but have you ever thought about trying to be the number one collector in the world of Scooby?
I have to say no because I am really good friends with the world record Scooby holder in Vancouver, and we're
Oh,
both
okay.
Canadian. And her name's Danny, and I love her to death. She's fantastic. She's very sweet to me. But yeah, ever since the first time she saw my TikTok, she followed me on Instagram. We've been messaging.
Mhm.
She's always like keeping an eye out on stuff for me because like she has some of her collections finished,
Nice.
and like I'm always looking for like my childhood Scholastic books, and she's like, "Let me know what you need. I'll find it. I'll mail it to you."
That's so
So you know
cool.
what? She has that title.
Okay.
She has earned that title. she I'd say she's way more dedicated. This is a lifelong thing for her. She's been collecting everything and keeping everything since she was a little kid.
Oh,
So
nice.
I'm gonna let her have that world record.
For now, just kidding.
Again
Yeah. Yeah.
for now. But no, it's hers. It's up for her. Yeah.
That's so cool. You'll have to send me the link to her TikTok. I'll have to check her out.
Yes, absolutely.
And then we can get you guys on and talk Scooby so that I can just sit back and nerd out and watch you guys.
Right? Yeah, she's definitely one to absolutely have on the podcast. I'm sure she'd do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, like I know she has a lot of like old like we've always kept our eyes out for trying to get like a
Mm.
cell. Like we really want a hand painted cell from the show or one of the movies. No luck yet, but she has one, and she has like a lot of the older stuff. Um,
Nice.
the two oldest pieces that I have are ones that Brad found me, and this one was a Kijiji find from 1973. and it's one of the original Scooby-Doo board games.
Oh wow, that's in very good condition. Yeah,
It's not bad, honestly.
yeah.
And we always laugh at it because the colors are just so wrong. Like it's a little pink and blue
Hmm.
mystery machine, but it's like they had it's like they were running out of paint, so they decided to just throw what they had on there,
Right, right. And I
and then
know my
just
friends after they see this episode from back home are going to be like, "Oh, do you remember the mystery machine driving around town all the time?" Yes, I do. Like so.
yeah,
Anybody who's going to comment that, I remember it from my childhood when it'd be passing through good old Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. There, so
yeah. And similarly, like we've been genuinely talking about that being a goal for us and like as we get older and hopefully in
hmm
retirement is that's like a personal goal. Like I've always said if I ever won the lottery, I want a mystery machine and then I just want like a Scooby mascot costume and I'm just gonna tour like every children's hospital in North America and
that'd be
just
so
like
cool.
pop up. Like that is like a lifelong goal. Like even if I don't win the lottery, I want my
Mhm.
mystery machine at some point. I don't care if it runs. I don't care if it sits in my driveway. I want the mystery machine.
Yeah, I keep telling the wife I want a Jeep so that I can deck it out like Jurassic Park, or just get like
Exactly.
some beat up little S10 with a great interior, and then just slap like the sticker, that they put on the bus wraps, and then just it's going to be all beat up. That's the purpose, and then have on the back that says Jurassic Park's grounds crew,
Yeah.
and then just drive that around because I happened to see one over the hill in Duluth here. It was like the newer Jeep decked out with all the Jurassic Park stuff, and I made my brother pull into the mall. I jumped out and got a picture with it, and his fiance was like, "Is he serious?" And my brother's like, "Yeah, he's serious." So
Yeah.
I'm a child. I'm a
I
full
mean,
grown
same.
37-year old child. So
Right.
yeah. So
It's all here. Yeah, we're all all in it together. Like we're thankfully in a nostalgia fest right now. We're
mm,
just like people are realizing like if we're gonna go through this life, we might as well be happy doing it. So
yep, yep.
yep.
And I always say normal is dead, and it's the nerds' time to shine because
Yes.
before it was like, oh, we got to keep this comic book and fandom hidden, but now it's like everyone loves Marvel, and it's like, oh, that's funny because I like Pokemon and comic book stuff like that when I was a kid, and now you do, Rebecca. Whatever,
Yeah.
Um, sorry, you're not cool as me. I've liked it since the '90s, watching X-Men and Gargoyles and Gummy Bears, all as a kid. So
Yeah.
there was a girl I just had on. She had like she used to collect Care Bears, and was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Like I geeked out. So
Yeah. And that's the thing too is that lady Danny that I was saying has the world record for Scooby. She also collects like My Little Pony,
oh nice.
Care Bears, Hardy Boy books. So
Okay.
yeah, if I can also plug her again for
Yeah.
anything collectible,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'll
definitely.
definitely have to look her up. Maybe, like I said, maybe I can get her on a show, and definitely gonna ask her about the Care Bears because that was like I remember watching that all the time, and it was kind of like I don't know, different than the normal cartoons that I watched, like the Ninja Turtles, and then obviously live action Power Rangers and stuff. But yeah, I
Yeah,
always geeked out for Gummy Bears and Power Rangers, or not Power Rangers, Gummy Bears and Care Bears. So,
yeah, yes.
so
But for me, it was always Scooby.
nice, nice.
Always
Any
got to
more
be Scooby.
collectibles you got there? I
Yeah.
know we're trailing off here a little bit, but that's
No
fine.
worries. The
It's my
last one I wanted to
podcast. We can do
show,
what I want, right?
right? Yeah, the last one I wanted to show was again for my partner Brad. It was something that he thrifted, and he gave it to me for Christmas, and it's a Scooby-Doo photo album, but it's sort of like a storybook.
Oh, okay.
So front and back, it has like thick cardboard pages that have different cutouts that you can slide in through the top. So
Okay.
every page opens up,
Very
and so
nice.
like as you go, you can slide in different photos. And so he said he's gonna draw me one every Christmas, hopefully.
There
And so
you go.
that was the first Christmas 22 that he got me this. So this is another huge keepsake that I'm gonna just have forever. I love this thing.
Yeah,
So
Brad, you got two thumbs up from
right,
me over here, man. I'm so happy for you, Tristan.
thank you.
That I mean, I love the collection. Like I said, I know you're new to my little realm, and I'm new to your TikTok, but I look forward to seeing more content that you have when you're out thrifting. If I see any, I'll just shoot you a picture on Instagram.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Because the nice thing about collecting is that you can always find something for somebody else, And then with
Right.
the little trade skis, I like to call it in the wrestling side. And my buddy Chad, King of Old School, like I said, when he needs like a figure, apparently they call them chases. I'm sure you know this as well, where they got the red gear on, but then there's a chase that's all blue or something, and he needs that
Yeah.
one. And when I'm out and about, I'll go down the toy aisle and see if I can find it for him. So.
Right.
But yeah, if you want to plug those socials, we can wrap this bad boy up and get you on with your day. And then you
Yes,
can keep
like I
get out
said,
there and collect. So
at Tristan Sakery, absolutely everywhere. I'm very boring. Even on Minecraft, my handle is Tristan Sakery.
nothing wrong with that. So,
Yep,
well, I
keeping it
cannot
simple.
appreciate. Well, go ahead. Sorry.
Just keeping it simple.
Perfect. And then before you go, here's the hard hitting questions. I'm telling you, they're so hard hitting. I know you already got your Holy Grail piece. Is there
Yes.
anything out there that you are searching for? This is where I hope when I'm super famous with this show that fans will find it for you. What's the big item you're looking for right now?
Honestly, I want all of the Scooby-Doo Barbie collaborations in
Oh,
box.
that's
Yeah,
different. Okay.
yeah. So
I want to
that
see that
is.
movie. Full disclosure, I don't care who's listening. It looks
Oh yeah,
funny.
absolutely. I'm first in line. Like June 21st, I'm in that front row. Like absolutely.
I won't sit front row because I've got corrective lenses there that are pretty bad. But yeah, we saw the trailer and I told the wife, I'm like, that looks horribly bad. I'll see it. Ryan Gosling,
Right.
so he's like
Yes,
Channing
but
Tatum. He's got that weird sense of humor that he can pull off. So
yeah. But yeah, there's 4 like Scooby-Doo Barbies that are Barbie, Skipper, I think there's a Ken and then a Kelly, and there's
okay.
4 of the little sister Chelsea,
Oh,
and
okay.
then there's the live action Scooby-Doo 1 and 2 Barbie dolls, and then there's a separate collaboration with Scooby-Doo and Barbie where she's dressed in pink as the detective. And I've never found any of them, but
Okay.
I call myself an in-person collector. I like hunting for stuff.
Yep.
Most of my content is Scooby hunting.
Yep.
So they're on eBay, but I'll wait. There's no pressure.
Nice thing is too, once you get super big, you open a PO box and that thing just gets flooded.
And honestly, a lot of people have been asking me of late
Yeah.
for a PO box. And I'm like,
Yep.
I don't know. Okay.
Yep.
Like,
We
yeah,
just had a buddy on the wrestling channel. Someone bought him, $50 figure. He's got hoodies sent to him. He's just like, oh my gosh, like people are amazing. So hopefully that
yes.
works out for you. We'll put it in the universe. Hopefully we can help you track those down.
Thank you.
Again, Tristan, I can't thank you enough for coming on and, hanging out with me tonight. So
I really appreciate it. Thank you very much for the
we'll
invitation.
definitely have to do a part 2. The energy is great. So, and I
Yes,
want to hear more about
absolutely.
Brad. The world needs to
Yes.
hear more about Brad. He's a
We'll
stud.
have him
So
on next time.
perfect. And then just pull him in the camera. One shot works. So.
Yes.
All right, Tristan, we'll wrap it up here. All right, friends, this is another episode of Show Me the Collectibles. Don't forget, we like to collect and connect. It's your boy,
Yes.
Crander Q. Crander Q out.